The ocean has always been a battlefield of courage and survival. But what if tomorrow's pirates, armed not just with rifles, but with drones, missiles, and high-tech gear, dared to attack the world's most powerful warships? Could they even stand a chance against a U.S. Navy ship? A vessel built like a floating fortress? Or would such an attempt end in disaster before it even began? Today, we explore one of the most thrilling what-if scenarios of modern naval warfare. Pirates versus the U.S. Navy in the future. It sounds almost unthinkable. But history shows that desperate groups often test the limits of power. With oceans covering more than 70% of the Earth, the battleground could be anywhere. So what would really happen if pirates dared to strike? The answer isn't as simple as you might think. To understand it, we need to look at history, modern piracy trends, and the unmatched strength of the U.S. Navy. Centuries ago, pirates were the scourge of the seas, but many people forget that piracy remains a persistent threat today. According to the International Maritime Bureau, more than 120 pirate attacks were reported in just 1 year, many of them off the coast of West Africa. These modern pirates often target cargo ships, oil tankers, and fishing vessels. But what about a Navy warship? For pirates, the thought of attacking one seems insane. Yet desperation and overconfidence can lead to reckless moves. History shows us how even weaker forces have tried their luck against giants, only to pay the ultimate price. Pirates are not the sword-wielding sailors of the past. They now use speedboats, satellite phones, and sometimes even armed drones to track ships. That makes the question, what if they target a U.S. Navy vessel? More chilling than ever. To understand what pirates would face, let's take a look at a modern U.S. Navy destroyer such as the Arleigh Burke-class. These ships are armed with Tomahawk missiles, close-in weapon systems that fire 4,500 rounds per minute, and advanced radar that can spot threats from miles away. They aren't just ships, they are floating fortresses. Every inch of these vessels is designed for survival. From electronic countermeasures to anti-air and anti-surface weapons, the Navy has prepared for scenarios far beyond piracy. Against such overwhelming firepower, pirates in speedboats would look like ants attacking a tank. But pirates are unpredictable. They wouldn't come charging directly. Instead, they might try swarming tactics, using multiple boats or decoys. Could this give them even a small chance against such a powerful ship? In the future, piracy may no longer rely on rusty rifles or AK-47s. Some groups already use drones for surveillance, tracking ships before launching an attack. Reports from the Gulf of Guinea show pirates using GPS and satellite phones to coordinate attacks hundreds of miles offshore. Now imagine that scaled up with stolen military technology. Drones carrying explosives, AI-powered tracking, and encrypted communications could make them far more dangerous than today's pirates. For the first time, a pirate crew might feel confident enough to target even a warship, but the U.S. Navy isn't behind in this game. With directed energy weapons like the laser weapon system, the LAWS, already tested, even drones can be shot out of the sky in seconds. The gap between pirate tech and U.S. Navy systems remains massive. Technology aside, there's also the question of human determination. Pirates often come from regions where poverty, lawlessness, and desperation push men into the dangerous life of sea raiding. For them, every raid is survival. But would this desperation push them to take on a Navy warship? Sailors aboard U.S. ships train for countless scenarios: hijackings, missile attacks, even cyber warfare. Every crew member has a role in combat readiness, and drills are part of their daily lives. The discipline and professionalism on board make the Navy's response nearly flawless. In contrast, pirates often rely on surprise, luck, and intimidation. Against a crew of hundreds who live and train like warriors, their chances collapse quickly. But what if sheer numbers were on their side? Picture this: a U.S. Navy destroyer patrolling international waters, suddenly swarmed by a fleet of pirate speedboats, each carrying armed men and drones overhead. The pirates fire first, hoping to overwhelm defenses. Would they succeed? The ship's radar would instantly detect the incoming threats, and within seconds, defensive weapons would open fire. The phalanx CIWS, nicknamed the R2D2 gun, can shred approaching boats in seconds. Helicopters like the MH-60R Seahawk could be launched, armed with torpedoes and machine guns. For the pirates, it would be chaos. In a real clash, experts believe such an attempt would end within minutes, with devastating losses for the attackers. Yet the boldness of such a move might still shake global headlines. This wouldn't be the first time smaller forces tested military giants. In 2000, the USS Cole was attacked by terrorists using a small boat packed with explosives, killing 17 sailors. That incident shocked the U.S. Navy and changed its security forever. Since then, ships have layered defenses, from physical barriers to advanced surveillance. Any pirate group attempting something similar today would face a navy that has learned hard lessons and refuses to repeat them. Still, history warns us not to underestimate determined attackers. Even the strongest navies must remain alert, because the ocean leaves little room for mistakes. If pirates were ever reckless enough to attack a U.S. Navy ship, the global reaction would be immediate. The U.S. would likely treat it as an act of war, sending powerful signals to deter any copycat attempts. Naval task forces could be deployed within days to secure the region. Economically, the shipping lanes would face heightened security, with insurance rates skyrocketing and civilian vessels under strict protection. For pirates, this would mean more surveillance, harsher crackdowns, and fewer chances to succeed. In the long run, such an attack would likely backfire, accelerating international cooperation against piracy. It would not empower pirates, it would endanger their survival. So, what if pirates dare to attack a U.S. Navy ship in the future? The outcome is almost certain. The Navy would dominate. Yet the question itself reminds us of the unpredictability of the seas. Desperate men, new technologies, and bold risks can still change the game, even if only for a moment. For pirates, such a move would likely mean destruction. For the Navy, it would be another test of readiness, proving once again why it is unmatched at sea. The lesson is clear. The balance of power still leans heavily toward the United States. The ocean remains a stage of survival, strategy, and strength. And in that vast arena, those who dare challenge the U.S. Navy are stepping into a fight they cannot win.